we're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host.
Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you looking for those 1,000 best practices, technologies, services, products, and of course the people are making a difference around the globe as we go through the 21st century. In a 21st century that looks like we'll have 9 billion people on the planet by 2050, and possibly by the end of this century, maybe 12 to 13 billion people. So how we're going to provide everything that's needed, not only for people to exist, but actually to have a higher quality of life. And the lady that's sitting right beside me, that is actually her work. This is Ali Galinsky. She is the Gender and Evaluation Specialist for what's called the International Center for Research on Women. Mm-hmm. That's a great name that you have there, your own personally, but also the fact of who you're working with. Mm-hmm. But looking at research in this, you don't hear too many organizations. They do lots of things, help millions of people, but not often do you hear research in the actually name of the organization. So why this focus of research in this organization that you're a part of?
Sure. Well, as Sarah mentioned, I think at ICRW we believe in using evidence to fuel action. So before implementing any programs or providing any recommendations, we want to understand what are the challenges that women and girls face in developing countries, what are the barriers they're facing, what solutions are they looking for, what's worked in the past, and then we use that information to inform programs and policies.
Yeah, looking at that, we're going to look at a short video here. It's by a group called Solar Sister. Mm-hmm. I love that name, and of course we've been trying to find some solar brothers to go along with this. So if we can go ahead and bring up this video, and this is going to talk about many of these issues, but not only just involving women, but also as far as entrepreneurship, creating businesses and all that.
Mimi, Valentina, ni mjasiriamali wa Solar Sister. Nafanya kazi katika kijiji cha Haydom, kata ya Haydom, wilaya Mbulu, mkoa wa Manyara, na mimi ni mkunga wa jadi, na mimi ninashughulika na masuala ya SACCOS, masuala ya kuweka na kukopa. Pia ni mhudumu wa afya, pia ni mtoa elimu kwa jamii kuhusu na masuala ya kujikinga na HIV. Kwa shughuli zote hizi nafanya kwa kujipanga. Jamii inatambua kwanza kwa sababu jinsi tunavyowachukulia, tunaonyesha upendo, tunawajali na kutoa elimu pia. Na kwa kuwa tunaishi nao na jamii hiyo hiyo, basi wanaona kwamba wanatuhitaji na sisi tunatoa kazi ambayo ni muhimu na tunajitoa kwao. Mwanamke anatakiwa awe jasiri kwa sababu mila na desturi ya kwetu inamfanya mwanamke atakiwe kuwa jasiri wa kujiamini, kutunza kila kitu pamoja na mzee, pamoja na familia, pamoja na ng'ombe na shamba na kila kitu, na kutunza pesa pia. Unawasaidia na kuwapa elimu na kuwasaidia pia namna ya kuishi vizuri, kwa sababu mwanamke asipokuwepo nyumbani familia inaondoka. Kabla sijaenda kwenye Solar Sister, ninapenda kutoa elimu pia kwa kina mama kuhusu masuala ya afya, kuhusu mazingira. Na mojawapo ninatoa elimu kuhusu sola, kwamba inatumia jua na jua inakuja kila siku, hasa katika eneo hii jua iko masaa yote. Kwa hiyo sola ni nzuri zaidi, itapunguza gharama kwa matumizi ya mafuta ya taa. Kwa sababu kazi za ukunga mtu unafuatwa wakati wowote, na wakati unapofuatwa mara pengine ni usiku. Tulitumia zamani hizi simu kabla ya Solar Sister kuingia hapa. Kwa hiyo tulitumia simu, na wakati unatumia simu mama aliweza kung'ata. Nikamwambia ni vibaya. Kuna sola hii hapa unaweza kutumia ikasaidia kwa sababu ina mwanga mkubwa. Hivyo waliweza kunielewa. Licha ya wakunga, kila mtu anaelewa kwamba sola inasaidia na inamfanya mama awe na uhakika wa mwanga usiku. Kwa Kwa kweli nikifika nikikuta nyumba yenye sola, mimi najisikia vizuri, naona jamii inakubali kubadilika na wanatumia sola kwa matumizi ya nyumbani.
Looking at this is really exciting that you're spreading this all across the African continent, all 54 countries. How would you explain Solar Sister, and also what do you see as the real long-term impact of an organization like Solar Sister on the quality of living, but also education, healthcare, and all these other issues that you're very much concerned about through your organization?
So Solar Sister is a social enterprise. They're based in Kampala, Uganda, but have operations throughout Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Nigeria. And the way they work is they recruit networks of female sales agents to sell clean energy products in rural areas, primarily solar lanterns and energy-efficient cook stoves. And so they say they use a model similar to Avon Makeup, where they recruit a woman who's a leader in her village, and then she'll recruit other women to help sell the products. And the reason this model works, or the reason they've chosen this model, is because these women can then sell through their naturally existing social networks. They're able to develop trusting relationships with customers, and they're able to reach households that are located in very difficult to reach locations.
Yeah, now looking at the work that you're doing as far as gender and evaluation, this is something that's very important to you, but also to have hard evidence that these actual activities, but also creating these small businesses are really working. So what did you find out as far as the research that you came up with and looking at the work of Solar Sister?
Definitely. So ICRW recently did a qualitative assessment of Solar Sister's model, and we were primarily interested in the impacts on the entrepreneurs, so looking at how their lives had changed. But then we also looked at the impacts on the customers from the use of the products. And so I'll talk about a few of the most interesting impacts that we found. Among the entrepreneurs, of course, they earned income from the sales of the clean energy products. But as they earned this income, they were able to contribute more to household earnings and expenditures, which gave them increased autonomy and even participation in decision making. And so at ICRW, this is something we found is really key to empowerment, women's role in household decision making. And one quote that a woman shared that I think sums this up well is, "Before I was waiting in my house for my husband to buy things, and now I can buy whatever I want." And so you can imagine the power that a shift like that has. We also found that women gained communication skills. So as a sales agent, they're going out, they're negotiating, they're talking with people they normally wouldn't interact with. So it really enhanced their communication that they could apply to other aspects of their lives as well.
It's really interesting, the cities that you're working at, because about half of these, I was actually there this last year.
Oh, really?
And we'll be going back into some of these areas, because this is in Tanzania, and we're working on the malaria eradication through a very special program that they have there. So this is really a great area that you're working at. But looking at this individual, family, and community level, this is the findings. Tell us very quickly, because people are not going to be able to read all this on the chart, but the impacts actually are very real and also very important. So just kind of walk us through this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, at the individual level, kind of where I was starting before around the income and autonomy, the communication was at the individual and family level. So it's kind of influencing the way that women interact with their families. At the community level, women talked a lot about mobility and status. So as they were moving around in their community and actually just being seen as moving around, selling, that really changed the way that they were viewed. And something that we found particularly interesting is that often female entrepreneurs in developing countries are selling products like handicrafts, fruits and vegetables. But in the case of Solar Sister, the product they were selling was an innovative technology product. So this is a very rare role for a woman to be in. So the fact that these women were being ambassadors of this new innovative energy technology really changed the way that other people viewed them and also the way they viewed themselves. So there was that big shift in status and kind of social status that they experienced.
But going to the community level, this is something that's really important because what you're doing is you're bringing new advanced technologies into the area. So one, you're increasing the status as far as the women are concerned, and that is really passed on to the children within their families. You come from that family that has the lighting and then maybe even later on refrigeration and cooking and those kinds of things. But also it just allows people to realize that we may be in the center of Tanzania, but at the same time, you know, we can actually have the advanced technologies that many people in even more advanced countries do not have access to. So that's something that's really important. So looking at some of these images we have here, you provided some very convincing photographs. So just tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here and how what they're doing, Solar Sister, is impacting the real impacts in their lives.
Sure. So I think some of the photos we provided are actually related to kind of how they were using the solar lanterns. There's a great example. So the women talked about whether they were entrepreneurs or customers, they often had the products themselves, so they were users, and they would use the products to continue running their businesses later in the evening. So they talked a lot about kind of income generation and safety that comes with using the lights at night. This is a picture the woman is taking care of her livestock at night using the solar lantern. They also talked about even the safety of going to the bathroom. So if you have to travel far to go to a latrine, the fact that you can use that light makes you feel more safe. Also, children are able to study at night. A lot of women talked about that being an important aspect they felt from the use of the solar lantern.
This is something we don't really think about in the developed world, is how many people really do live in darkness. The sun goes down until, you know, the sun rises the next day, you know, everything really stops. When you look at this photograph here, you see how they're really engaged, but it's not just, you know, the youth that are engaged, but it's the adults that are learning, and they're actually gaining from the children as far as, and this goes back to the old 4-H concept that developed in the United States back in the early 1900s, is the children actually can help to teach the adults. And so this is really just absolutely phenomenal. Where do you see your organization going over the next 5, 10, 15 years? What do you see?
So I guess we'd like to really kind of continue to build the evidence base around why it's important to engage women in clean energy value chains. We know that women are often the main cultivators and users of clean energy, and so building that case for why they should be engaged and identifying solutions of how can they most effectively be engaged.
And so through your evaluation, you feel like this is something you're getting at, you can quantify it, and then give this over to whoever needs it as far as this is really happening.
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of those first steps. This was a qualitative assessment, and we would love to continue